All right, let's talk about something that probably gives every business owner a little bit of a cold sweat. Tax audits. But what if we could flip the script on them? That's what we're diving into today. How to take this thing you can't avoid and actually turn it into an opportunity for your business. You know that feeling, right? That official looking envelope shows up and your heart just sinks. All those questions, all that scrutiny, it's a huge source of stress for so many people. But here's the thing, it honestly doesn't have to be that way. Okay, so first things first, let's just get one thing straight. This isn't about scaring anyone, it's just about facing a simple reality of doing business. I mean, think about it. Every single business has to deal with taxes, right? So it just makes sense that any business can also be audited. It doesn't matter if you just started yesterday or you've been around for decades. This is something that applies to everyone. And check out this number, just 5. What does that mean? Well, statistically, it's pretty much a given that any corporation is going to get audited at some point in a 5-year stretch. So the takeaway here isn't to try and dodge it. You can't. The real game is being ready for it. Okay, so we've established it's going to happen. The next logical question is, what happens if you're not ready? And trust me, the fallout is way bigger than just a financial hit. I hear this all the time. Oh, my tax agent will handle it. And look, I get it, but that thinking is, well, it's dangerous. Believing you can just hand it all off and forget about it, that's just asking for trouble down the line. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. The myth, my agent's got this. The reality, no. The buck stops with you. The directors, the finance execs, you're the one on the hook, which means you absolutely have to understand what's going on with your company's taxes. And the price you pay for being unprepared, it's huge. We're not just talking about money and fines either. We're talking about sleepless nights, that constant knot in your stomach. That kind of mental stress is draining. And if things are really bad, it can open up a whole can of worms with investigations into every corner of your business. All right, enough doom and gloom, right? Let's switch gears and talk about the solution, because there is a solution. And it all comes down to a complete mindset shift in how you deal with the tax authorities. In Malaysia, that's the LHDN, the Inland Revenue Board. But just pause and think about that. What if it wasn't a fight? What if it wasn't you against them, this big, scary government body? This is the big idea right here. Thinking of the tax authority as a tax partner. What that really means is when they come knocking with questions, you're not scrambling, you're ready. You have the answers, the documents, the confidence. You're not defending, you're collaborating. So the big question is, how do you get there? How do you build that partnership? Well, you need the right tools. And that's where something like a tax savvy program comes in. Let's break down what that toolkit looks like. Look, to make this work, you've got to know a few things. You need to understand the rules of the game, how audits and investigations actually work. You need to know the do's and, maybe more importantly, the don'ts. You've got to be able to handle those tough conversations. And here's a big one. You need to know how to use the tax incentives that are out there to your advantage. And a really good program will cover the whole shebang, from getting your own tax house in order to deep diving into how investigations work. And then there's this, secret dealing with LHDN. Sounds mysterious, right? But it's really all about learning the pro-level strategies to communicate clearly and effectively. It's a game changer. You can really break the whole audit process down into 3 simple stages. You've got your prep, what you do during the audit, and your follow-up. And hey, let me give you a pro tip right now on that first step, preparation. Do your own internal audit first. Seriously, find and fix your own problems before they ever get the chance to. That puts you in the driver's seat from day 1. And that really gets to the heart of this whole thing. This isn't about being sneaky or finding loopholes. It's about knowing the system inside and out so you can walk into any situation with confidence. It's about turning that fear into a predictable, manageable process. So here's the bottom line. We're flipping the script entirely. Stop playing defense, waiting for something bad to happen. It's time to play offense. Turn this thing you have to do into something that actually helps your business win. And look at the real-world benefits here. When you nail your tax strategy, you can literally increase your profits. You slash your compliance costs. You get rid of all that stress we talked about earlier. Put that all together, you've just given yourself a massive competitive advantage. So it all comes down to this one question. Because really, the choice is up to you. Is the LHDN going to be the enforcer you're always afraid of? Or are you going to step up, get prepared, and turn them into a partner? How you answer that, well, it could change everything for your business.